Yes, Martha?
Do you mind if I borrow the car this evening?
Oh, of course not. Wait a second. Well, don't you look lovely?
Well, thank you. Just a little remodeling on an old dress. You sure it looks all right?
Well, you're perfect from head to toe.
Well, how about from stem to stern?
What's the occasion?
Oh, nothing special. Well, you know how it is. Sometimes you just like to get dressed up.
Of course. When I'm nothing special, do I always get all dressed up and put my best perfume on, too?
Oh, by the way, is this perfume a little strong?
Perhaps a little.
Strong enough to get up into your sinuses and make you dizzy?
Oh, not that strong.
Oh, well, maybe I better put on a little more. Thanks. Night.
Night.
Somewhat bewildered, dear lady.
Well, it's Martha. She seems to be in the throes of a romance.
There's nothing to puzzle your mind over. She's having a little Indian summer.
I realize that, my dear Captain. The question is, who is the Indian? Rooting more than I am for Martha to find a nice man. I just feel better if I knew who he was.
Probably some respectable chap she met in town on one of her shopping trips.
Yes, but then why all the secrecy?
Because it's more romantic that way. However, if you're so concerned, why not come right out and ask her?
Oh, I couldn't do that. She'd think I was being nosy and meddling.
She'd be right.
Of course, if someone else were to find out who the man was, I wouldn't be meddling.
Mm-hmm.
Someone special who could follow her tonight and neither be seen or heard?
Oh, no. Thank you, but no thank you.
But you wouldn't even know you were there.
For very good reason, because I won't be there.
That's empty. Why don't we sit for a minute, Doctor?
If you wish, Martha. Oh, it seems a little damp. Allow me. There you are, Martha.
Oh, Dr. Rodman, you're so gallant. And such a flatterer, too. Now, this is more the real me. Isn't this a lovely night? Just look at those stars.
Yeah.
There's a full moon.
'Tis a full moon. You know, Martha.
Yes?
When you smile,
Yes, Doctor.
I can see the moonlight reflected in your teeth. I did a good job of cleaning them.
Yeah.
You know, most people are prone to overlook the importance of dental hygiene. Nothing pleases me more than the sight of good, healthy gums.
You're not just saying that to excite me. My. Suddenly, I felt a little chill.
Oh, I'm quite comfortable, Martha.
Well, maybe it's warmer over there where you are.
Would you care to sit here?
I'd love to.
And that's the way it went the entire dreary evening. I'd say Dr. Rodman's idea of romance is a moonlight cruise down a root canal.
That was the school bus.
Oh. go. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Go on, go on. That's me, a bank shot to the school bus.
How about a cup of coffee?
Thank you.
I'll get you a cup. Oh.
Oh, wouldn't you know? Last cup.
I guess I must have been asleep when you got home last night.
Mm-hmm.
You must have had a good time or you'd have been home earlier. Look, I know you want to talk about Dr. Rodman, so go right ahead.
How do you know about Dr. Rodman?
Oh, I have my ways. I hear he's a very nice person.
Oh, he is. And very romantic, too.
He is?
He just couldn't wait to take my face in his hands and gaze into my gums.
Martha, come on.
I'm afraid he found my charms resistible.
Well, it's only your first date. You have to give it a chance. Maybe you were expecting too much.
I wouldn't know what else to do. I even asked him over for dinner. I figured I could get to him through my cooking. He turned me down.
Did he say why?
Oh, what's the difference? It all adds up to 2 words. Not interested.
Poor Martha. I wish there was something I could do.
There is.
What?
Nothing. Just leave her be, and she'll get it. Claymore, that blasted pipsqueak. Well, I'll drop him overboard for you.
Oh, you do no such thing. In fact, he couldn't have come at a better moment.
There's a look in your eyes, Mrs. Muir, that tells me you're about to meddle.
Well, I'm not going to sit idly by watching Martha suffer.
Good morning, Mrs. Muir.
Claymore!
Is he, may I come in?
Come in. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you. I'm sorry to trouble you, Mrs. Muir, but I have to have your signature on this paper. It is the insurance renewal for Gull Cottage, and, well, you must sign it as the tenant.
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
Right, over here, please. And just put your name right here at the bottom.
I guess I should read what I got.
What's to read? Just a lot of parties of the first part and persons of the first part and whereas and whereby and to wit.
All right. Oh, but first, I was wondering if you might do me a little favor.
Well, surely anything at all, Mrs. Muir. After all, remember, I am your slave.
Well, Martha's been feeling depressed.
Oh.
And if you could say something nice to her, you know, pay her a compliment or two, I would make her feel so much better.
I know exactly what you mean, Mrs. Muir. From time to time, I myself get depressed. Now, would you believe that? Yes, me. A man with so much going for him.
It's hard to imagine. Martha, would you make us some fresh coffee, please?
Coming, Mrs. Muir.
You just let me handle the whole thing, Mrs. Muir, please. Oh! Aren't you going to introduce me, Mrs. Muir?
Introduce you?
Mm-hmm. This must be Martha's younger sister.
And you must need new glasses.
This is not Martha's younger sister?
No, it isn't.
I don't believe it. Her daughter, then.
It's Martha.
It's Martha. Now, you don't mean it, Mrs. Muir. Now, what have you been doing, Martha? Now, whoa, what have you been taking? Young pills?
I hope he's not driving in this condition.
Martha, Claymore was just paying you a little compliment.
Yes, I was, Martha. I was just saying, I wish I was 10 or 20 years older.
You mean younger?
Yes, younger. Yes, I do. That's what I meant. But the last minute, I didn't want to lose believability. I didn't say the right thing then either, did I?
Would you like to try for the right thing?
I certainly would, Mrs. Muir.
How about goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Claymore.
Oh, gotcha. Goodbye. I won't be needing the coffees. Thank you so much. Pardon me, Mrs. Muir. I just remembered a very pressing engagement. I don't suppose, Mrs. Muir, you'd be... Oh, give me the pen. Good day, ladies.
Well, I guess we won't need the coffee.
He certainly made my day.
Oh, come on, Martha, now. You mustn't give way to negative thinking. Well, look at yourself. You've got many fine qualities.
Name 5.
Well, you're a warm-hearted person. You have a good personality. You're an excellent cook, and you have a terrific sense of humor.
That's only 4.
Well, you have them in large quantities. Now, that's better. How do you feel?
Miserable.
Bad temper?
Please, Captain, I am not interested in any advice from you today.
Very well. Then I won't bother mentioning that I have the solution to Martha's problem.
Come back here this instant.
Do you apologize for being so rude?
I apologize. I apologize.
Very well. It was your meddling that made matters worse for poor Martha. So I did a little investigating on my own.
What did you find out?
First of all, you have to make an important appointment on the telephone.
Right. With whom?
With the playboy of the dental world, Dr. Milton Rodman.
Right. Why?
Because you suddenly have an excruciating toothache.
Oh. Why?
Oh, by the powers. If this is the way women go about chapping men, it's a miracle the race has survived. Trust me, my dear. I have a plan.
Now, just relax. Which tooth did you say it was?
On the right.
It looks perfectly normal to me, Mrs. Muir.
Oh, it doesn't hurt anymore.
What was that?
I said it doesn't seem to hurt anymore. Isn't that always the way?
Well, I like to be thorough about things.
Martha really enjoys her date with you.
Mm-hmm.
She's such an unusual and warm person. Warm-hearted. Charming personality. Good sense of humor. She's a fabulous cook. You should taste her pies.
Worst thing in the world for teeth, never touch pie.
She hardly ever cooks them.
Diet is so important in dental care, you know. Now, for example, you take a dish like goulash.
How do you feel about goulash?
Much too spicy, bad for tooth enamel and gums.
She never cooks it.
But I love it.
Except on special occasions.
Now then, open wide, please. Uh-huh. Well, the tooth you pointed out looks perfectly healthy to me, Mrs. Muir.
Ah, is that right? Well, then I guess I won't be needing this.
But I found a lovely cavity in another tooth.
Hi, Mom. What's in all the bags?
Dinner.
What kind of dinner?
You'll see when it's served. And kids, would you get upstairs and take your baths now, please?
It won't do you any good to run, because it's my turn to get into the bathroom first. When you get in there first, you take all afternoon. Women are supposed to take a long time in the bathroom. Why? Because they have to perfume and cream and powder themselves so they'll be beautiful. Boy, no wonder it takes you so long. And you still think someday women are really gonna like him?
Hello, Mrs. Muir. Can I give you a hand?
Oh, thanks, Martha.
Why all the food? You having a banquet?
Well, as a matter of fact, we're having a little goulash festival.
What's the matter?
I just had a tooth filled.
Please, don't mention dentists.
Well, as a matter of fact, I went to Dr. Rodman. He's really very nice, and we had a little chat about you.
Wait a minute. This extra food? A sudden visit to the dentist? Are you trying to tell me something?
Well, let's put it this way. Guess who's coming to dinner?
I have a feeling it's not Sidney Portier.
Well, you asked Dr. Rodman yourself before, and all I did was follow up on it. He couldn't have been more delighted, and he's really looking forward to seeing you again.
You're not just saying that?
No, I really think he's interested in you, Martha.
Come on.
Well, he must be. He specifically asked if he could bring his mother.
His mother? Imagine meeting a man's mother at my age.
Now remember, Martha, tonight you're the hostess. I'm just a guest at dinner.
His mother.
Well, everything seems to be shipshape. I have a feeling that all is going to be clear sailing.
You have a feeling, I have a filling.
Well, there's a small price to pay for restoring Martha's irritatingly jovial personality.
Anyway, now that I've done my part, don't you think it's time that you told me the rest of your plan?
Mustn't keep Mother waiting.
Oh, good evening.
Good
How are
evening,
you?
Mrs. Muir.
Good evening.
Martha. May I present my mother, Mrs. Rodman.
Well,
this is Martha Grant.
How do you
And
do?
Mrs. Muir.
Oh, how do you do?
Very
Mrs.
nice to
Muir?
meet you.
May I take your coat? Oh, certainly.
How kind of you to ask us, Mrs. Muir.
Nice of you to come.
You know, Martha, I'm so glad to meet you. My son has told me so much about you.
Really? Thank you. Won't you go into the living room?
Yes.
Come along, dear.
Well, she seems to like you.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
Interesting place you have here.
Oh, thank you. Martha keeps it spotless. She's the best housekeeper in the world.
Would you care for an hors d'oeuvre?
Oh, yes, they're delicious. Martha made them. She's such a good cook.
I never eat things like that.
I'll have one, Mother.
Remember your allergies, Milton.
Oh, yes. Yes, Mama.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy what Martha made you for dinner. Her own special goulash.
Goulash. Oh, I do love a
I'm
good...
sorry, I never eat goulash.
Oh, dear. I forgot to tell you, Mother is a vegetarian.
Oh, well, I'm sure Martha can whip up a lovely crisp salad.
Well, that will be just fine. Just be sure that the vegetables are very well scrubbed.
Of course.
And the plate, too.
Would you care for something to drink? Perhaps a nice glass of sherry?
I never drink alcoholic beverages. Drinking is a sign of weak character.
Actually, it's not too good for the teeth, either. I mean to say, the alcohol in wine comes from fermented sugar.
It took it with a spot of rum. It might humanize them.
Don't make matters worse.
Well, I'm doing the best I can.
Oh, I know you are, Martha.
The others could neither see nor hear me, Mrs. Muir. Though I'm not so sure about vegetarians.
I did so want to meet you, Martha. Milton has just raved about you.
Well, how nice of him.
Milton's such a dear, sweet, kind-hearted, gullible boy.
Oh, I'm nothing special, Mother.
There's no argument there.
He's been reared in an atmosphere of gentle refinement, and he's grown up to be the nicest boy I've ever known.
Oh, Mother.
You are, and shut up, darling.
Yes, Mother.
I hope you understand why I insist on meeting the women who want to go out with my son. The mother of a handsome, rising young dentist with a tremendous practice. Can't be too careful.
Oh, it's not such a big practice, Mother.
Don't contradict me, Milton. Remember my heart.
You haven't got a heart, you old barracuda.
I have to protect Milton from certain women who want to make a good catch and care nothing at all about my son's happiness.
Mrs. Rodman, are you implying that Martha is that kind of woman?
Oh, I could be wrong, of course. Martha may not be that type at all, although she looks it.
Mrs. Muir, you did say that I was the hostess here and you were the guest.
I certainly did.
The party's over, Mrs. Rodman.
The party's over, Mrs. Rodman.
I don't understand.
Make it clearer, Martha.
I'll make it clearer, Mrs. Rodman. The door is out there.
How dare you speak to me like that? Are you just going to sit there, Milton?
Well, Mother...
Well, don't just sit there like a dum-dum. Take me home.
Yes, Mama. Oh, I'm so sorry, Martha. I'll see you as soon as I can.
Twice a year will be quite sufficient, Doctor. Thanks. To think that I actually felt rejected by that mama's boy.
You were just too good for him, Martha.
Why, I'd as soon marry that ogre.
Ungrateful wench.
I'll go check on the goulash. We'll enjoy it anyway.
Right.
Humans. I tried to help her, and she repays me with insults. Madam, am I really an ogre?
No.
Thank you.
But you're no Cupid either. That was some plan you had. It's just lucky that Dr. Rodden's mother turned out to be such a dreadful woman.
Luck had nothing to do with it. It was all part of my plan.
You knew from the beginning?
From the very beginning.
About his mother?
All about the mother.
Oh. Captain, sometimes you make me feel so mortal.
There are moments, madam, when you make me wish that this was another time, and that I was still mortal.
My Captain, thank you.
Come, madam. Martha's a big girl now. We've got to trust her.
Well, it isn't that. It's just I want Martha. They're back. And at this hour.
At this hour? It's only 10:30.
That's what I mean. It's too early.
Oh.
I hope Claymore didn't try anything funny.
If you ask me, madam, I think Claymore tried something funny when he asked her to go out. If you'll excuse me.
I think so, too.
Oh, well, thank you, Claymore. It was a very pleasant evening.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the drive-in movie.
Yes, but next time I'd like to drive inside.
Well, we'll have to get there a little early, that's all.
Oh, anyway, the shore dinner at Norrie's Lobster House was delicious.
Lovely.
Well, thanks again for a very lovely evening.
Thank you, Martha. And you know something? I had a good time myself.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Oh, da-dum, 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 da-dum.
Mrs. Muir?
I just want to thank you for being so nice tonight.
Oh, anytime at all. As a matter of fact, I loved it. Oh, while you're here, I'm sorry to mention this, Mrs. Muir, but please just sign this paper.
But can I please read what I'm signing?
Well, it's really just the insurance renewal for the house. You see, a lot of parties are the first part and stuff like that. Trust me, Mrs. Muir.
Claymore, tonight I think I will.
Oh. 1, 2, 3.